So the limited time Fasnacht celebration event is finally in Fallout 76 again. It has been quite some time since we have seen this event. Actually, around the last time that we saw this was in March of 2019. And I'll be completely real with you, I had no idea about the Fasnacht celebration until it was introduced to me within Fallout 76. And once it was introduced to me, I realized that it was an actual real celebration out in Helvetia, West Virginia. So I literally took the time to find out the date of when it would be starting, and I went out there the following year. Actually, this year. I experienced it in 2019 in-game, and I was like, okay, I really want to experience this in real life. So I went out to Helvetia, West Virginia, in real life, of course, and got to experience it, and it was a blast. I'm actually going to be making a video over the whole experience of this in real life. And there was a lot of people there that created Fallout 76 masks. It was so much fun attending, a lot of down-to-earth people there. If you are curious about this video over my experience of it in real life, I'll be uploading that this weekend. So definitely be on the lookout on my channel here soon. If you haven't subscribed already, I definitely recommend to give my channel a chance by sticking around and subscribing. You know, you always have that choice to unsubscribe as well. So yeah, as always, it's totally up to you. But anyways, besides all of that, I mean, it's still on topic. I'm still talking about the Fasnacht event, but it's just something I have planned for the future. Now, let's just go ahead and get into this nuking experiment. There were a lot of people that was recommending me to target this event with a nuke. When I tweeted it out over on my Twitter, as you can see here, I said, should I nuke the Fallout 76 Fasnacht event? And then I added, it'll be for science, of course. And I got quite a bit of responses telling me yes, to just do it. I think there was maybe only like 2 no's out of more than 40 responses. So yeah, that was clarification to me that the community was a bit curious over what happens when we do nuke the Fasnacht event. Which, by the way, if you aren't following me on my Twitter, I highly recommend to. I am extremely active on there. If you want, feel free to go follow it. A link to it will be down below in the description, like always. It's honestly the easiest way to get in contact with me. That's how active I am on there. But yeah, overall, to be completely honest with y'all, there were a few positives over nuking this limited time event. However, there were more negatives than positives. I guess I'll go over the positives first. Yeah. Why not? The positives are, well, for one, you can complete it in a nuke zone. Before, in the past, the critters did not spawn. We wasn't able to get intestines within a radiated zone. Now, as you can see here, within my 3 different experiments that I did within a nuke zone, the critters did spawn, and they have intestines on them. It did take them a little bit longer to spawn in, however, but they did spawn in, which, you know, that was the only problem beforehand when completing this event in the past within the nuke zone. So yeah, you can complete the whole entire event now when the area is nuked. Also, you do get more experience. You definitely get more experience. The Megasloth at the very end that you fight and you're guaranteed a legendary is level 40 instead of 20. The Rad Toads range from level 20 to 40 instead of 5. The Honey Beasts are level 46 instead of them being the super low level that they typically are in a non-radiated area. And the super mutants are way higher than what they typically are. They're level 68. So yeah, on that note, everything that you experience within the nuke zone, of course, you get loads more experience. Also, there's plenty of flux around in the vicinity too. Mainly yellow cake, but yeah, there's plenty of flux as well. And on that note of the enemies being higher, that means the Megasloth that you fight at the end, the legendary Megasloth, being level 40, you get a little bit higher of a legendary than what you would typically get. However, it's going to be level 35, so it's still a pretty much pointless legendary if you're level 50 and up. It's used for only script, or if you're trying to help level up another character, or maybe you want to PvP on a lower character or something. But mainly, it's pointless. It's a level 35 if you're 50 and up, which a lot of us are. I'm not saying everyone, so don't feel bad if you're not level 50. That's what I'm about to be getting into next. There's actually a lot of low-level players that are experiencing this limited time event. As we know, we got a lot of new players on board for the Fallout 76 Wastelanders DLC. And a lot of these new players aren't going to appreciate you nuking this area, because a lot of new players simply don't have hazmat suits or aren't as prepared to be fighting in a radiation zone. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're in a public server, you're not even going to really be touching the enemies. There's so many players there that you'll be lucky enough to get a shot on an enemy. Like, everyone's just taking out everything in pretty much a couple hits or one hit. Heck, Like, you'll be lucky enough to get a hit on an enemy when you're doing this event. I'll be completely real with y'all. There's so many people at this event at once. It's hard to get hits on enemies. But still, it can be a hassle for low-level players. There's a lot of players out there, believe it or not, that don't have a lot of protection for radiation. Or they're just not prepared. They just randomly spawn into the world and then all of a sudden they're getting hit with radiation. Like, what the heck? I didn't expect a nuke to be here. Then they die. I was seeing some players die within the nuke zone. And I was feeling really bad. Really bad. And that's why I feel like it's important to make these videos to inform players when things are worth it and when things aren't. And I can straight up say right now, it is absolutely not worth it to target the Fasnacht event with a nuke. I'll be getting more into it. Another reason why, actually, is you can accidentally nuke players' camps. As we know, currently, vending machines and display cases are currently inactive. And the reason why is because there was a massive duplication glitch that went around that utilized display cases and vending machines. So Bethesda made these temporarily inactive. And since Bethesda made these inactive, there's a lot of players out there that don't have their vending machines active whatsoever. So their camps are pretty hidden on the map. So knowing that, I had to be extra safe when nuking this area in a public server. I literally went out and checked around the area to see if I would find any camps, because there's plenty of players out there that made camps specifically around Helvetia to celebrate the Fasnacht event, just to have more players interact with their camp. As you can see here, for instance, my buddy, he literally wrote out Happy Fasnacht on a sign at his camp, and right next to Helvetia. So yeah, once again, I had to be extra safe when nuking this area. I literally went around physically before even going up in the silo to check if there were any camps around in the vicinity. And then while I was running through a silo, I had my buddies survey the area even more just to check if there were any camps around the area. Just because I didn't want to accidentally nuke somebody's base. Because once again, there's a lot of players that specifically made camps around Helvetia just because they knew the Fasnacht event was coming into the game soon. And to top all of this off, you don't get better rewards when completing the Fasnacht event in a nuke zone. I don't know where that rumor came from, but it's absolutely not true. Also, another rumor is you have to pop all of the balloons to get a better reward. And as far as I can tell, that's absolutely not true either. I've tried popping all of the balloons multiple times, and I still haven't got the rarest rewards yet. Which, by the way, that's what I wanted to go over here lastly. There was some data mined information about all the rewards that you can get from this limited time Fasnacht event. And they made the data mine information into a spreadsheet. So I'm just going to share that with y'all in this video. Because why not? It's just some extra handy info to know. So starting off here in this data mine spreadsheet, as you can see, with all of the bots remaining alive, you'll still get the same amount of caps, which is 60. However, it states here if you have all the bots alive, you can get up to a 3-star legendary at the end, and a 2-star legendary if you have up to 3 to 4 bots alive, and a 1-star legendary if you have 1 to 2 bots alive. And lastly, you get 2 treasury notes within each completion, as long as you got through the Wastelander's quest line. Another thing that was data mined was the Beerstein's display case and the Fasnacht souvenir Beerstein, which both these are camp plans, and you're 100% guaranteed these. However, they'll stop dropping after you learn them, and they're not tradable. So you might as well just learn them. They're not really going to boost up in rarity because they're not tradable. Next up here are all the camp plans, and there are 2 recipes, the Fasnacht donut and Fasnacht sausages. I don't want to read off all the camp plans here because as you can see, there are clearly a lot of them. There's literally 28 different plans right here, and 2 recipes once again. But yeah, you have a 3.45% chance to get one of these, and it doesn't matter how many bots remain alive. It's still the same amount of chance to get any of these plans. However, it gets a little different when we get further into the rewards here. As you can see, the common masks that drop from this event are the Soldier Mask, the Toothy Man Mask, the Witch Mask, the Giant Mask, and Owl Mask. There's a 10% chance that these will drop if you have up to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 bots remaining. However, there's about a 5% chance that these will drop if you have all bots remaining. So that's pretty clear to me. If you have all the bots remaining, you have a higher chance to get better masks from this event. As you can see, the medium rare masks are the Jester, Sun, Skull, the Barret, and the Goblin mask. If you keep all the bots alive, you have a 14.25% chance to get one of these medium rare masks. Now the rarest masks are extremely difficult to get, which are the Raven, Deathclaw, Winterman, Crazy Guy, and the Father Winter Power Armor helmet, which can only be added on T45 Power Armor. As you can see, you have a 0% chance to get these if you keep 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 bots alive. However, if you keep all of them alive, you have a total of 5% to get one of these masks. As you see, it states here you have 1% to get each of these masks, which adds up to a total of 5% if you count all of these 5 rewards. You have an extremely low chance to get these. So, there you have it, everyone. The final verdict, by the way, in case you didn't get the point earlier when I was saying it, it's absolutely not worth it to nuke the limited time Fasnacht event. In the end, you're just going to end up bothering players. If you are going to nuke the event, just try to stay in a private server. That's where I ended up going after I did it the first time in a public server. Luckily, I didn't take out anyone, nor did I take out anyone's camp. But that won't always be the case. So I want to make it clear to you all that it is absolutely not worth it to nuke this limited time event, unless you're just specifically trying to annoy players. Hopefully this video helps bring more awareness to players to break their curiosities, because I know there are a lot of players thinking about targeting this event. I realized, especially after I made a status over on my Twitter, how many players were actually curious over this event being nuked. And yeah, that's one of the things that helped motivate me to get this out on the very first day of its return, just so I can make players more aware that you shouldn't nuke this. Don't nuke it. Please. It's going to ruin, once again, some players' experiences. But yeah, I'm out of here, everybody. Thanks for taking the time, watching and listening. Hopefully you found this enjoyable and you learned something new from this. If you found this enjoyable, by the way, it would be greatly appreciated if you could take a little bit of your time and leave a like. As always, though, that's totally up to you. Just leaving a friendly reminder here at the end. But yeah, thanks for taking the time, watching and listening. Until next time, remember to try to stay safe out there. Peace.